Good day and welcome to Evolution Sim Racing. Tis I, Lord Pendlebury, and I have apparently fucked up yet again because I've not unmuted the music. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have received multiple complaints in the last few weeks about the standard of these highlights, and not one of them has ever mentioned the standard of this intro, which, without fail, I fuck up every week. But yeah, anyway, we were at Interlagos in Brazil this week. We were in the GT3s, which was a very popular combination for most, but not for me. But yeah, anyway, we will crack on with the highlights in just a second. But if you're watching this thinking, God, I'd love to get involved in one of these sim racing leagues, well, if you're a member of iRacing, come and join us. Here are some alluring reasons down there. evolutionsimracing.com below me. We're also on Instagram and TikTok, so do feel free to follow us on there. But yeah, for now, we will crack on with this week's highlights. Hello then, and welcome to Interlagos for rounds 9 and 10 of the Evolution Sim Racing Championship Season 4 of 2024. As said, we are at Interlagos. It is a toasty day for this sprint race, 25 minutes in length. Let's see how they gridded up. Well, on pole position was Wrecking Tyres Racing's William Thomas. He was just 79 hundredths of a second ahead of Lord Pendlebury. Jeff Sharp was then in third place with Dan Slattery alongside him fourth. However, Dan Slattery has not gridded up for this one. He is not taking part because, well, he is truly honouring the contract with Fuck This Racing. Third row of the grid is Jamie Nicholson and Chris Hulse, with James Hurlow in what will become sixth place with the absence of Dan Slattery. Then, if we take a look at the AM category, Chris Palmer put it on pole position with Steve Everson in second. Axel Edwards and Brian Dodd were third and fourth, with Mickey Dolan then in 12th. Travis Dorado rounded out the grid. Well, I hope somebody noticed the deliberate mistake of leaving Silverstone in the title. This is a good old Silverstone Interlagos. Now, the old pace truck has branched out from the ovals and now branches away from the track. It's now on Will Thomas to decide when to go. And it looks like he is on his way now. Pulls across, takes the racing line. Jeff Sharp sniffing up the inside of Pendlebury. Oh, there's somebody around in the background. There is Brian Dodd involved. Oh, and there's chaos down the hill as well. You can see in the background Jamie Nicholson and James Hurlow. Well, that has lit up my timing screen. We also have Axel Edwards. He's coming out of the pit lane. He missed the start. Yeah, that is a dire start to the race for a few. We'll go and take a look at that in a bit. Apologies if I don't do that. I have accidentally forgotten to look at replays recently. And you can tell it's an accident because some of those have been Jeff Sharp. And you know that I need to blame Jeff Sharp for everything. Well, that's one lap in the book, so let's bring up the race information. And we'll have a look and see where we are. Well, leading the way in the pro category is Will Thomas. Pendlebury's just over half a second behind, with Jeff Sharp just under half a second behind him. It's then 1.3 seconds back to Chris Hulse, with James Hurlow recovering from that early lap drama with Jamie Nicholson, but he is 8 seconds back. Jamie Nicholson is then a further 10 seconds back. Dan Slattery, as we've said, has not taken the start in this one. Then in the AM category, Chris Palmer currently leading the way. He's got Steve Everson 3.6 seconds back, and Mickey Dolan 1.8 seconds behind him. Trav Dorado's in fourth. Brian Dodd is the closest to making things happen in the AM category. He's just 0.9 of a second behind Travis Dorado. And then we've got Axel Edwards. He's I don't think he's 1 minute 34 seconds behind, unless he's had an issue straight out the gap. But tell you what I'll do, and I forgot to do this, I've been forgetting to do this recently, so apologies to Steve Everson, because I know he loves a track map. We'll bring up the track map, and yeah, Edwards is in that, so I think the timing tower is just a little bit squiffy. Well, I presume that was Axel Edwards getting past Brian Dodd. They are both fairly close to Trav Dorado. And Jeff Sharp is right up behind Lord Pendlebury. nothing doing at this point though. Pendlebury has emerged throughout the course of this race, which apparently was just 4 minutes into. Straight line speed is not a perk with the Porsche. I'll tell you what, I've missed that. Axel Edwards has breezed past Travis Dorado there. Apologies, Mr. Edwards, I wasn't expecting you to get that done so quickly, but you appear to have done so. Now, I'll tell you what, this is the closest Jeff Sharp has got so far. What can he do? Oh, fucking hell, nothing from this camera angle. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Brian Dodd is even closer to the back of Travis Dorado, who's looking up the inside as they head towards turn 1. Travis Dorado runs fairly wide there. That's not turn 1, is it? That was the final turn. Where are they? Oh no, that was turn 4. My mistake, apologies. But that is Brian Dodd. Well, he was temporarily through, but Travis Dorado managed to get back up to the inside. This is good racing from these two. Good side-by-side battle. Still it goes on. And eventually Brian Dodd claims that position, but for how long? And I'll tell you what, Jeff Sharp, where's he? Forcing Pendlebury to go defensive into turn 1. Well, we are getting on to that time where we're just about at half distance. And race leader then in the pro category, there he is, Will Thomas, heading up the hill to embark upon his 9th time around Interlagos. Leading the way, he's 3 seconds ahead of Pendlebury, with Sharp, as we know, in very close attendance in 3rd. Chris Hulse, good strong showing for him, he's in 4th position. And oh, hang on a minute, let's hold on a second, because Jeff Sharp once again putting the pressure on Pendlebury as they head up to turn 1. Pendlebury goes defensive again. Manages to hold him off though, but Sharp is even closer this time round as they head down towards turn 4. Doesn't really help me that I've got the Silverstone track map in front of me, not the Interlagos one. Yeah, still Pendlebury holds off. James Hurlow then is in 5th place, and 6th place is Jamie Nicholson, and as we know, Dan Slattery has fucked this racing. In the AM category, we have Chris Palmer leading the way still. He is really putting in some strong showings at the moment, and he is doing so yet again. He is 8 seconds to the good on Steve Everson. Mickey Dolan is then in 3rd place with Axel Edwards in 4th. Brian Dodd's in 5th, but still having a close battle there with Travis Dorado. Here, these two are pretty inseparable. Just like Sharp and Pendlebury, as you can see there. Now how's Pendlebury's exit out of the final proper turn here at Interlagos. I'll tell you what, Sharp is really close to him this time. I'm not sure Pendlebury's going to be able to do too much to fight him off, and you can see that closing speed getting closer and closer. Pendlebury hugs the inside line. Jeff Sharp moves to the outside. Hard onto the brakes they go. Sharp ever so slightly later on the brakes. Oh, they are very close there, but they keep it clean, which is rare for these two. And Sharp finally gets the job done, up into 2nd place for him, and that is crucial in terms of the championship. These two are very, very close in the championship battle, so even the most minor outscoring of points is critical. Dorado is closing in, closing in, closing, pulls out from the slipstream slightly, now looks to make the move, can't quite get it done though. Looks like he's got a better run through 2 and 3, and Dodd runs wide a little bit, and that compromises Dorado ever so slightly. And that decent run that he was having has ended. He is still very, very close behind. Dodd maintaining a slightly defensive line as they head into turn 4. looks like Dodd's out wide there, and that's unfortunate. He loses the place to Dorado, and that is going to cost him time all the way up onto the 13th lap of this one. Being given a bit of a gift there, Dorado. Can he make hay then whilst the sun shines and capitalise on what is now just under a second's gap between the two of them? Oh, Dorado this time makes an error in the final turn, and in a mirror image of what Brian Dodd did a couple of laps previously, Dorado has now gifted Brian Dodd 5th place. Not long left in this one. Can Brian Dodd hold on? This is by far and away the closest battle we've got on track at the moment, so we will stick with it. Oh, this time Dodd's gone out wide. If only they could just keep it on the track, they'd be able to walk away with this fifth place. But I'll tell you what, it's making for some absolutely outstanding racing for us to watch. On a slightly unrelated note, there's something about the whine to these Lamborghini's engines that sounds ever so slightly like a baby crying through a baby monitor. And I'll tell you what, it is the most stressful watch as Dorado runs wide. Side by side they go through the long left-hander of something. And I'll tell you what, Axel Edwards has been closing this gap to Mickey Dolan. And on the inside he goes into turn 4. And Axel Edwards, it's been a decent recovery drive from him. As he did start in the pit lane, he's up into the podium positions now. Can he cling on to that? Well, we will cross to Will Thomas crossing the line. He takes the victory in this sprint race. Jeff Sharp will no doubt come home second, Pendlebury in third. Let's go back. Oh, that's Will Thomas into the barriers. I wasn't looking. Let's just keep an eye on this battle. Looks like Edwards will have it wrapped up. So let's go and have a look at Chris Palmer crossing the line. He is coming on strong as this season gets into its stride. Takes another victory. That is his 3rd victory in 3 races, I believe. Don't quote me on that stat. And it's confirmed then. Axel Edwards crosses the line. Good recovery drive from him. Mickey Dolan ending up finishing 1.4 seconds back from Axel Edwards. Starting off then with the pro category, Will Thomas ended up winning by a nice, comfortable 6.7 second margin. For Pendlebury, he battled Sharp for as long as he could, but Sharp had the pace to beat him, he says, through gritted teeth. Chris Hulse, good strong showing from him. We won't stop calling those out. 4th place was then James Hurlow in 5th, with Jamie Nicholson in 6th. Dan Slattery obviously didn't finish because fuck this. Taking a look then at the AM category, and also sorry, I have once again popped the Werthers in at the wrong time, hence me sounding like I've got a mouthful of... Chris Palmer won in the AM category. Steve Everson was just over 10 seconds back. Axel Edwards, as we saw, a nice recovery drive from him. He is in 3rd place, rounding out that podium. Mickey Dolan finished in 4th, with Brian Dodd winning out in that titanic battle with Travis Dorado, the Battle of the US, the Civil War, so to speak. Brian Dodd pipped him by just 0.6 of a second at the line. Well, as ever then, we will take a brief break, and then we will be back with the feature race highlights in just a second. Oh my fucking god, why does nothing fucking work? I need a midstream rant. As you can see, I'm now fucking Elton John. Yeah, I've replaced the fucking phantom power supply, wholesale new cables, everything's up to date on OBS. Yet, when I went to start recording the fucking highlights for the feature race, the microphone stopped working. So I've replaced that with this old piece of shit. So I don't know what I'm going to use this for, a dildo, I guess. But yeah, anyway, let's do the feature race highlights before, I don't know, I break into Candle in the Wind or something. But yeah, sorry, I needed the rant. Well, hello then, you bunch of oversized knobs. Right, I'm going to level with you. It has been almost 2 weeks since I first started recording these highlights. I don't even have a memory of recording the sprint race, but allegedly I have, or at least according to the video file I have. But yeah, so we return to Interlagos, the Autodromo de Jose Carlos Pace, something along those lines. And it is, of course, round 10. We are in the GT3s, and it is the 45-minute feature race with mandatory pit stop. Now, let's go down trackside and play everybody's favourite game. Oh, bloody hell, guest delivery with motion blurry cars. Well, I've forgotten which side of the grid actually goes. I think it's the right-hand side as we look at them. So that would be Will Thomas. Will Thomas is then on pole position with a lizard-looking thing next door to him. Who the fuck are you? I'm really waiting for that number to appear, and it's rather blurry, so let's just look at that. Oh, it's Jamie Nicholson. There we go. Then we have Chris Hulse with Lord Pendlebury alongside. Lord Pendlebury has been an utter cockwomble this week because he's changed cars between races. Didn't like the straight line speed of the Porsche because there was none. It is then Jeff Sharp just behind. No, that's wrong. James Hurlow just behind him. Oh, that's. Oh yeah, there was an issue because James Hurlow shouldn't have been behind Lord Pendlebury. But yeah, well, it was James Hurlow, then Jeff Sharp. Let's go to a different camera angle, I think, because this is frankly awful for trying to work out where everyone is. Let's go. Oh, fuck's sake, where's a blimp? That'll do. Oh, fuck me, that's even worse. Well, that looks like it's, I don't know, 57. Oh, that's Mickey Dolan. He's leads the way with Brian Dodd coming next. Then Axel Edwards gets involved with Chris Palmer alongside him, maybe. Then Steve Everson is 11th. Trav Dorado not out on track. Let's double check. Yeah, Trav Dorado is not out on track because, yeah, he's there. So I don't know why he's not out on track. Maybe he didn't race in this one. Truly can't remember. And now it won't switch back to the other cameras. So you know what we'll do? Here's we'll cut this out and then go straight into the race highlights. You're welcome for another slick and seamless introduction to the feature race. Wow, just waiting now then for the pace car to pit in, and it does so. So Will Thomas, for the second time this evening, will decide when to go, and go is now. Gets well ahead of Jamie Nicholson there, pulls out to the far right to improve his angle for the entry to turn one. They're 3 wide behind with Pendlebury, Hulse and Sharp. That has gone wrong in recent times. They managed to get through all unscathed this time round, going a bit further back, and it looks like there's a lot of 2 wide, but again, all unscathed. Mickey Dolan continues to lead the way in the AM class. But Brian Dodd just behind him. Chris Palmer looking up the inside of Brian Dodd. And Axel Edwards tucked in just behind them as well. Oh, there's something going on. Oh no, okay, I got a lot of off tracks there, but nobody has actually gone wrong. And Trav Dorado, there he is. He has made it out onto track for this second race. Well, Axel Edwards, is also making even more waves because that is Mickey Dolan well out wide, and he has lost a lot of places there. Not sure what's gone on. Maybe he has some issues, but that hands the lead in the AM category to Axel Edwards. He's made a cracking little start at the start of this race. And we have now not got what. Let's bring up some race information, is what I was clearly trying to say there, and I've forgotten to do this a little bit recently. I'm sure Steve Everson will not be impressed, but let's bring up the track map. And, well, Will Thomas has made a decent little getaway, already a second ahead of Jamie Nicholson, but then it's looking very close from Jamie Nicholson through until James Hurlow in 6th place. And then in the AM category, Brian Dodd fairly close behind Axel Edwards. I was wrong earlier, apparently. Chris Palmer is actually leading the way by 1.8 seconds in the M category. Always the issue with not putting up the race information early doors. And Brian Dodd is putting considerable pressure to the back of Axel Edwards here. This is that battle going on nicely. Incidentally, Axel Edwards running a Steve Everson designed livery, as indeed is most of the people in iRacing. Some say that Steve Everson has more liveries than iRacing has active memberships. Oh, and that was a twitch from Pendlebury, and that is potentially going to give Jeff Sharp a fantastic run, and Sharp is indeed alongside Pendlebury. Surely it's a formality at this stage that he'll get through, but Pendlebury's later on the brakes. Can he hang it all the way around the outside? Gets on the pad, but he runs wide, and that gives Jeff Sharp the impetus to finally get round him. Pendlebury switches across to the inside, but I don't think there's really going to be anything that he can do there. Jeff Sharp then up into 4th position, and that is they are the 2 championship leaders. They have been nip and tuck all season long. Well, yeah, any advantage you can get is a positive one. And Jeff Sharp has that. Fucking hell, I have spent a long time concluding that overtake. Oh, and news from the back of the grid. Mickey Dolan, after a good start initially, has got it all wrong. Is he driving the wrong way around? No, he's not. I was just looking at the wrong corner. But yeah, that's gone wrong for Mickey Dolan. He is now a long way off the back of the pack, nearly half a minute. Oh no! I've just cut away from absolute carnage, and once again we saw it. I then managed to cut away to Steve Everson, but the front end of Jeff Sharp is completely missing there, and that is because he has sent it full bore into the back of Chris Hulse. We will of course go and see that replay with the caveat that I might not remember. But yeah, it just looked like caught out maybe by Chris Hulse braking early. Was he? Who knows? We'll go and have a look. Actually, considering he's gone into the back of Chris Hulse, I can't really leave it as saying he was maybe caught out by Chris Hulse. He has driven into the back of Chris Hulse, so we'll assume Jeff Sharp's to blame. I know I rarely do that, but for the moment, until we've seen the replay, let's assume Sharp is a clot. Tell you what, Chris Hulse taking a look up the inside of Steve Everson, trying to make back those positions he's been robbed of, thanks to Jeff Sharp, and he is past Steve Everson. Oh, fucking hell, I've got a cat that's just decided to attack the microphone. But that has actually separated that gap between Steve Everson and Brian Dodd. Brian Dodd will thank Chris Hulse for that, provided Chris Hulse doesn't slow him down when going past him. And really, that has left us in a bit of a quiet stage at the moment. This is the closest battle on track. It's Lord Pendlebury and James Hurlow. Incidentally, I very nearly called myself, whilst introducing myself on a client call the other day, I very nearly introduced myself as Lord Pendlebury to one of our customers. That would have been deeply embarrassing. Fortunately, I didn't, so we live to fight another day. Well then, let's have a look at the incident then between Jeff Sharp and Chris Hulse. And oh my goodness, I didn't realise Jeff Sharp came from such a long way back there. Just couldn't get the car stopped, almost as if he accelerated into the back of Chris Hulse there. We'll take a look at it from his nose, because that seems like a fun thing to do. And wow, yeah, we really got to see Chris Hulse's insides there, and wow, yeah, he had to practically stop to let Chris Hulse's spinning vehicle recover. And James Hurlow got a decent run on Pendlebury here, I imagine. Yeah, thank you, iRacing Director, that was fucking amazing. Pulls to the outside, James Hurlow, as they head down towards the centre S's. Pendlebury maintains that inside line though and keeps hold of 3rd position. But Hurlow putting him under some considerable pressure. Pendlebury has of course not run very many laps in the Ferrari this week, because he was planning on racing the Porsche. Hurlow pulls the inside, but can't do anything there. Pendlebury opts against defending, and he really needs to start trying to crack on and build a bit of a gap to Hurlow. Meanwhile, in the AM category, Steve Everson and Brian Dodd providing the only battle there. I say that, Axel Edwards is now 0.7 of a second behind Chris Palmer, so that one is something that we will also keep an eye on. So Steve Everson's got a decent run this time, and he looks to the inside of Brian Dodd. Brian Dodd giving him space, but not going to concede a position too easily. Has the inside for the right, but unfortunately, for him at least, Steve Everson carried more momentum around the outside of the turn. That is Steve Everson then up into the final podium position as it stands. Well then, idling our way towards half distance in this one. Still a couple of minutes to go, but I can't be asked to wait. And Lord Pendlebury has pulled away from James Hurlo. James Hurlo had a bit of an incident, and that allowed Pendlebury to scamper up the track and scamper onto the rear end of Jamie Nicholson, who is just 0.3 of a second ahead of him, both racing in the Ferraris this evening, for this race at least. That is Pendlebury up the inside of Steve Everson. Pendlebury now having made his pit stop, unable to get past Jamie Nicholson on track, so he's going for the undercut. No tyre changes in the GT3s though, that would take far too long, and the only thing you'd be undercutting is, I don't know, yourself. I don't know, I'm not feeling very witty today. Some would argue I'm not feeling witty on any given day, but yeah. We shall see. Looks like James Hurlo has also come into the pits this time around. As has Axel Edwards from second place in the AM category. Chris Palmer continues to lead the way there. Oh, fuck no, I need to go home. This is not dispelling the myth that I spend all my time wanting myself to be on screen. So let's go for my arch nemesis, Jeff Sharp. He obviously, as said, has pitted. He's currently 7.4 seconds behind Lord Pendlebury, because even when Lord Pendlebury isn't on screen, he will be mentioned. But yeah, Jeff Sharp looking to recover, having had that incident with, incident with Chris Hulse earlier on, and Mickey Dolan unfortunately has chosen to retire from this one. Looking at the old information, I can't see what. Oh, he did. Mickey Dolan did register as having a crash, so that may well be the reason that he's chosen to retire from this one. Well then, Jamie Nicholson has gone into the pits, and here is Lord Pendlebury yet again. There's a nice close-up. God, look at that sexy machine. And the question is, where is Jamie Nicholson? So let's stop dicking around. Jamie Nicholson, where are you? There's Jamie Nicholson on the pit exit. This is going to be close. Pendlebury will have a bit better momentum on the actual racing line. Are they side by side? Not quite. Pendlebury just about pips him to the post. Question is, though, can he get away? Will Jamie Nicholson be able to pressure him into an error? Just make a full-blown move on track? We will see. And in amongst all of this, Jeff Sharp, because of that error made by James Hurlo, Jeff Sharp is now back up into 4th place. Chris Hulse just 5 seconds behind James Hurlo as well, so he'll look to close that gap down. But yeah, let's stop. Bloody hell, need to stop focusing on battles that Pendlebury is involved in. Let's go and take a look at the person that accused me of focusing far too much on myself, Chris Palmer. I've done my best to avoid him all race, and into the pits he goes, pitting from the lead. He should pit and come out in the lead. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll not stick around to find out, because we need to go back and check out Lord Pendlebury. I've just spotted something, chaps. That BMW, not the best angle to look at it from, but here, clearly levitating. And really, you don't want to be taking tyres, so let's see what happens then. Let's look at the track map. Well, there's Chris Palmer. Steve Everson is... well, I'll tell you what, Chris Palmer is... Did he just play an absolute blinder there? Did he think, I've got such a lead, I am going to... change my tyres, no fucks given? That seems to be the case, because he's still 4 seconds ahead of Steve Everson. I'm very confused. How the fuck did Will Thomas get 38 seconds up the road? Is that right? Oh, that's because he hasn't pitted yet. That makes sense. Oh, hi, I'm cutting edge commentary here from the Evolution Sim Racing commentary team. But yeah, that explains why Will Thomas was 38 seconds up the road. It's because he hasn't pitted yet. And what I've done here is I've left it on this... He's also having tyres. Did everyone take fucking tyres? Well, I'm very confused. I don't. Well, getting into the closing stages of this one then. Jamie Nicholson just under half a second behind Lord Pendlebury here. He is doing what he can, and he's not let Pendlebury get far away. This gap has fluctuated from between 0.2 of a second and 0.7 of a second for the last few laps. Hasn't been able to make it so far, but will the pressure of the end of the race tell Will Pendlebury cock up and make an error? Why is your car number 770? Oh, right, it's just the livery. That's what it was confusing me on the guess the livery thing, because I was like, 777? We don't have somebody racing in 777. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, this is boring. Oh, hello, Chris Hulse has just got past James Hurlow. Oh, that's why. James Hurlow is facing the wrong direction. Whereabouts is that? Well, that is just before Zhengkao. And, well, he is feeding with the Zhengkaos in the field. There is James Hurlow, having spun around and sent it into the grass. Oh, well, fuck me sideways. I've missed the end of this race because I was frantically trying to update the points so I wouldn't have to stop recording at the end of this, but it looks like I'm going to have to do that anyway. But yeah, congratulations, Will Thomas takes the victory in the pro category. Let's go and check in with good old Chrissy Palmer. No, actually, oh no, I can't. Can I do that? Let's have a look. Chrissy Palmer, is he going to be impressed with that? I very much doubt it. Where are you, Chris Palmer? Oh, no, I can't actually. Oh, well, Chris Palmer, looking at the 8.5 second lead, is going to win this one. That's not Chris Palmer. There's Chris Palmer, winner of the AM category. It's the incident of the week.
Well then, bonjour, tis I, je m'appelle Charles Leclerc, and you join us for Incident of the Week. Firstly, apologies if my accent is a little bit off. I have got a cold. Well, let's dive right in with the analysis of this incident. I've forgotten which screen it is. It's Lord Pendlebury's setup. I'm very good friends with Lord Pendlebury. Oh, hello. Something seems to be going. Oh, well, let's just see if it goes right. Well, we are chasing once yet again with Jeff Sharp and his battering ram, and let's head down towards the first corner. And obviously, we will do as we did last week, and not go beyond the end of the music. So as you can see here, Jeff Sharp is closing in very quickly, and then whoosh, straight into the back of Chris Hulse. And I'm not really sure we can not apportion blame to the Jeff Sharp this time. Let's watch it full speed. Yes, he has just gone rather into the back of him. I seem to be doing a tour of the regions of France. I now feel like I am in the limousine. I'm going to drink some wine. Yes, I'm pretty confident that's Jeff Sharp's fault. So, the music's ended, so we can't fully confirm it. But yeah, anyway, join us next week for Incident of the Week.
And yeah, let's take a look at those results. It's starting then with the AM category. Chris Palmer won by 10.4 seconds in the end. That gap increased by 2 seconds in that last lap. Steve Everson was then in second place, with Axel Edwards rounding out the podium. Brian Dodd, Travis Dorado and Mickey Dolan. Well, Brian Dodd and Travis Dorado, they were a lap down, 4th and 5th place respectively. Mickey Dolan retiring 21 laps from the end. And to the pro category then, Will Thomas, he won by nearly 16 seconds. Lord Pendlebury is... Sorry, I've got two cats being absolute fucking dickheads. And when I say two cats, I mean one cat is being a dickhead to the other cat. So I just had to interject. So yeah, Lord Pendlebury, 16 seconds behind Will Thomas, with Jamie Nicholson just a second behind him. Jeff Sharp, oh fuck off cat, Jesus Christ. Anyone wants a cat, you can fucking have him, he's a prick. Jeff Sharp, he recovered well from harpooning Chris Hulse. He finished in 4th, with Chris Hulse then in 5th. And then James Hurlow rounded out the pro category. He was in 6th. Now let's take a look at the points. I'm assuming you can't hear the cat that's decided to start howling, so I'll just carry on. Well, leading the way continues to be Jeff Sharp, but Pendlebury has closed that gap in ever so slightly, just 11 points in it. Will Thomas, he has rocketed up 5 positions in this week's standings with 2 wins. He's on 114 points, leading James Hurlow by 9 points. Chris House is then in 5th place, sharing 4th place, I suppose, with James Hurlow on 105 points. Jamie Nicholson just 4 points back on 101. Steve Moore, quite appropriate that he is on the same number of points as his number is. That's poetic in some kind of way. And Dan Slattery is 8th. The rest of them on there have not yet raced this season. Well, that was quite a quick roundup for the points for me. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Next week we are in... fucking hell, where are we? I think we're actually in the sprint stops. So yeah, a little bit of a change from the norm. We won't be doing 2 races. We'll be doing 3 races, 3 20-minute sprint races, no pit stops required. And yeah, well, tune in and you will see how that goes. Well, I am doing truly nothing to dispel the myth that I couldn't give a shit about the AM category. I've come to edit the highlights and discovered that I just didn't do a rundown of their point standings, so here it is, post-production on a shit microphone. So Chris Palmer leads the way. He's on 183 points, 3 wins to his name. Steve Everson is in 2nd place, just 1 point behind. That is looking like it's going to be a title battle that goes down to the wire. Axel Edwards, he's then in 3rd place on 161 points, with Mickey Dolan in 4th on 108. Brian Dodds then in 5th place on 97 points, and Travis Dorado is in 6th place on 83 points. Paul Nicholson then in 7th on 30 points. Now, I might not care about you lot AM drivers, but I have managed to time that perfectly. So, yeah, anyway, we'll see you next week.